Good morning, students. I'm Padmaja Behra, your English teacher, who is beginning with the lecture of the second chapter of Flamingo, that is Lost Spring Stories of Stolen Childhood. The story Lost Spring describes the pitiable condition of poor children who have been forced to miss the joy of childhood due to their socio-economic condition which prevails in this man-made world. Let me tell you something about the writer Anis Jung. Anis Jung was born in Rourkela and she spent her childhood and adolescence in Hyderabad. This chapter is an excerpt from her book titled Lost Spring Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here, she analyzes the grinding poverty and traditions which condemned these children to a life of exploitation. This chapter also brings about the pitiable state of many children who are bereft of their childhood. Let me discuss about this particular title, Lost Spring. Just analyze, children. Spring is considered to be the best season of a year, and because we see so much greenery and freshness. Similarly, the writer has compared the spring to childhood of a person, which has to be the happiest period, because whatever a child faces in his childhood or her childhood, that reflects upon his personality later on. So this chapter has two parts. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage is the first part, and the second part is about Mukesh, and the story is based in Firozabad, which is known for making bangles. The second part is I want to drive a car. Right, children? So let me move to the first part. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. In the story, the children are denied the opportunity of schooling and they are forced to work early in life. This chapter also raises the issue of child labor, and the writer also wants that government should impose strict laws against child labor. This chapter is also a call to end child exploitation and help the children enjoy the days of spring that brings joy to them, because every child also wants his or her own freedom, and he or she always want to be educated. We cannot bereft the child from enjoying the basic rights of education. In the first part, the writer is giving us a very brief overview of the life of the ragpickers. The ragpickers have migrated from Dhaka and have settled in Simapuri, which is in the periphery of Delhi. Sahib has come to the big city of Delhi to earn a living. They are poor. They have migrated, they have left Dhaka to earn a living in Delhi. The writer sees Sahib every morning scrounging for gold in her neighborhood. Scrounging for gold. Gold here has been used as a metaphor. When the children are rag pickers, they find for them rags are just like gold. Gold is precious. And for these rag pickers, all these rags are gold, or the garbage is gold, because that is their source of earning. That is their source of livelihood. These children become partners for survival for the parents also. Sahib has come from his native place Dhaka, thinking that he can earn a living. He will not sleep empty stomach, At least he'll have some food. So the writer sees Sahib every morning and he's picking garbage. Garbage, as I told you earlier, garbage to them is gold. Garbage is a means of survival for the elders, and for the children, it is wrapped in wonder. Sometimes the children come across a coin or two from it. These people have desires and aspirations, but they don't know how to achieve them. There are quite a few things which are unreachable to them, like a pair of shoes, also a tennis racket. Sahib has to work in a tea stall and is not happy as the job has taken away his freedom. He is not happy. He was happy picking up garbage for a living, but is not happy in the tea stall. He was happy lifting the big garbage bag, but is not happy holding the steel canister because the steel canister is of the owner, but the garbage bag was his. Let's move on to the second part. The second part is about, as I told you earlier, is about a place named Firozabad, which is famous for making bangles. And the title is I Want to Drive a Car. The main protagonist in this particular story is Mukesh, who belongs to a family of bangle makers. For generations, these children and the people of Firozabad have been making bangles. Firozabad is best known for its glass blowing industry. Nearly 20,000 children are engaged in this business, and people here do not know that a law exists which forbids child labor. There are strict laws, children, but very few people know about it or are aware about it, and child labor is a crime. The living condition and the working environment is in a very pitiable state. They live in dingy cells and work close to hot furnaces, which make the children blind when they become adults. As they are debt ridden, they can neither think or find a way to come out of this. And they're exploited by the rich people, the bureaucrats, the politicians, obstruct their way of progress. The women in the household, like the grandmother of Mukesh, considers their pitiable state to be their fate, and they have to follow their tradition because they know nothing else except making bangles. But Mukesh, even though he's from a bangle making family, is different from the rest of his family. He has a dream to become a motor mechanic. He is determined, so he decides to work in a garage so that he can earn money. He can try to have a different source of livelihood. Even though the garage is quite far, but still he has the willingness to learn and be a motor mechanic. See, there is a saying where there is a will, there is a way. Mukesh can definitely achieve his target of being, or his desire, his goal of being and becoming a motor mechanic. Normally, it also happens in with us these days. Normally, the parents feel that the child should follow their family business, little knowing that the child also has a mind of his own. He can think on his own and pave a different path altogether. Children, there is a great lesson learned that you are all so lucky. You are having the spring of your life, but there are many children who are far away from all this. They cannot go to school, they don't enjoy the basic rights of education, of earning their own livelihood, and as a result, These children, have to help their parents. They become partners of survival for their parents. They have to help their parents. So, as a result, they forget their childhood. I hope all of you must have understood this particular chapter. Please go through the entire chapter. You will very well come to know what all points I had covered. There are few important points like the exploitation of the children by the bureaucrats, the middlemen, the sahukars, and secondly, in the first part, how Sahib, looks for gold in garbage. That is why all these metropolitan cities they become crowded because people from the neighboring cities come and try to earn a living in Delhi, which is the capital of India. It is even ironical that being the capital of India, how come people are living in abject poverty? Of course, these people they have a ration card and they earn their livelihood. At least they don't sleep empty stomach. So they become migrants and crowd the capital city of Delhi. Thank you, children. Please go through the questions given in the PDF format and try to solve them. In my next video lecture, I will definitely help you out. Thank you.